Morning. Today I just want to read a couple verses from the Bible and expound on a application that I was blessed with so that you can experience God on today. This is Genesis 1:26 through 31. And it says, "And God said, let us make man in our image." And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So God created man in his image. In the image of God created he him, male and female he created them. And God blessed them, and said unto them, be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. I remember when I was in prison, I was reading this, and I just began to speak to God about why did he not make man first and then make everything else? Or why did he create man on the sixth day? And he just spoke to me about how he gave me a parable. He told me how my generation and generations before me, and even this new generation, we create before we are prepared to take care of the creation. That makes sense? So God created everything we needed to sustain us before he created us. So in the sense, he had the house before he had kids. He had the food before he had kids. He had the clothes. Granted, we were naked. So he had everything we needed to sustain us before we got here. And he showed me how I was guilty of. He showed me how I was guilty of birthing or impregnating a woman, but not having the things that the child needed to be taken care of, if that makes sense. So now a man will not have a job but get a girl pregnant. A woman will not have a job or the ability to take care of her children but birth a child. And I'm not knocking nobody's faith. I'm just saying that in, as they call it, the kingdom, one thing God has just shown us from the word is that he didn't birth anything until he had everything in place for the creation to be sustained. Clearly, food must be for us. He just told the man, already given you food to eat. Basically, God was the roof over our head, so we sustained. We didn't need clothes because we were naked. Well, you can say Adam and Eve were naked in the garden. They had scenery, they had all these things, fish, animals, so pets, if you will. But God just showed me that you can apply the story of creation to reality. Like Jesus spoke upon, you have to count the cost. Where I'm from, they say proper preparation prevents poor performance. Yeah, if you know that, if you know, you know. So now it's like, it's for us to plan. So again, especially with child creation, like, okay, do I have the money? Do I have the resources? Do I have the time and energy to take care of a child specifically? Because we see God created us. And before he created us, he had everything we needed. So he didn't panic. Now, I know people who are incarcerated because they did things to provide for their children. Some may have lost jobs, but some of them just were doing illegal activities because they panicked, because they didn't prepare to have children. They didn't plan children. They were really seeking to enjoy themselves in grown-up activities. And so they didn't plan. They didn't have the crib. They didn't have the stroller. They didn't have nothing that the child needed. They didn't have the financial resources. They didn't have a job. So now they had to panic. And one thing led to another. So now they may have robbed somebody in particular. And so the blessing is that when I decide to have children, if I decide to have children, it's like preparing, making sure, like, now I have a son on the way, a gift from God. And so now it's like, okay, we have the stroller, we have the baby shower, we have the jobs, we have the income, we have the resources. When I needed more, I prayed, God, I need another job. I want to make sure my son, when he comes, has everything, just like you did in the story of creation. Make sure you have beautiful scenery, a room, like I said, a stroller, a car seat, diapers, clothes, food, and everything that he needs to be sustained. And so, that being said, I just want to say thank you for subscribing, or thank you for watching. I'm not going to ask you to like or follow. You do as you feel led. I just hope you enjoyed and that you will tune in again. And I pray that you experience God through your own story of procreation. Amen.